people, this is Will from nextlevelguitar.com. David's behind the camera.
David is behind the camera, good people.
And Sammy's sleeping on the floor, strategically waiting for me to drop a guitar pick so she can chew on it. And today we have a VOX Pacemaker amp, solid state, from the mid-60s. It's a combo amp, one 10-inch speaker, probably puts out about 35 watts. And it's a nice little all-around amp for practice. I have played a live show with it at kind of moderate volumes, and it worked just fine. A lot of people, when they think of VOX amps, they think of the tube AC30 amps that Brian May is the person that you really think of when you think of a VOX AC30, and probably also think of the Beatles. But they made a lot of solid-state amps, and these are actually made in the United States. They were made by Thomas Organ for VOX, and they made a ton of them. They had all different kinds of sizes, ranging from a small practice amp like this up to the giant Super Beetle amp, which was probably as tall as me and probably weighed more than me. The VOX tube amps during the 60s were made in England. This amp was made in California by Thomas Organ, the people that made organs. And it's solid state. Definitely does not have that British sound that you would think of when you think of a VOX AC30 tube amp and guitarists like Brian May using a huge stack of them. But it has a nice, real clean sound, real usable. Now we're going to take a close-up look at some of the details of this mid-60s solid-state VOX Pacemaker amp. We've got the grill cloth, which is similar in design to what you'd see on an AC30, although not identical. A lot of the features are very traditional VOX amp features that the AC30 kind of laid the groundwork for, such as, you got the white piping around the perimeter, you got the diamond grill cloth and the chrome piece, the corners, the plastic corners, the type of Tolex that's used, all very unique to VOX. Okay, we flipped the amp on its back so we can show you the control panel. Starting here, we have the inputs. We have 3 inputs. This is a one-channel amp, but it has 3 separate inputs. We have a volume knob. You notice the knobs are the same chrome knobs that they used on the guitars. We have the treble and bass, and then we have the speed and depth for the tremolo, and your switch, and your pilot light. We have a traditional VOX amp handle, and you can see the piping that goes around the perimeter of the amp. That's gold, but it's kind of faded, which is another traditional VOX feature. Tilted this up so you can see the the nameplate above the controls where it says VOX Pacemaker and it says solid state. Here's the back of the amp. We have the input for the pedal. We have auxiliary speaker. We have a auxiliary power outlet. We have a polarity switch, and we got the fuse, and we have an E-tuner, which supposedly you can tune your guitar to this, but I don't know what note it plays, but it sure doesn't play an E. Now if we go down to the bottom, you can see we have an open back cabinet. We have a replacement speaker in here, and we have the manufacturer's serial number plate down here with the name of the model and the model number and serial number and stuff like that. And it says Thomas Organ Company and Sepulveda, California. This is a foot switch for the amp. There's two buttons. Not sure what the second one's for. One turns the tremolo on and off. The amp does not have reverb, which is something you would normally expect in an amp like this. The foot switch is pretty heavy, and if you beat somebody in the head with this thing, they're gonna feel it. This thing weighs a ton. I'm playing through one of David's guitars that I stole when he wasn't looking. This is a '97 Big Apple Strat. Came stock with 2 Seymour Duncan humbuckers, And it's great playing little guitar, nice beautiful tobacco sunburst finish, and high quality American made great sound and Strat. Now I'm going to go through some of the sounds of the amp, or maybe the sound of the amp. This amp isn't super flexible, but it does have a nice clean sound. We're going straight in from the guitar right into the amp, no effects or anything, and we're mic'd up with a Shure SM57. Thanks a lot for joining us today. This is Will from nextlevelguitar.com. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button up there in the upper right hand corner. And be sure to check out the website, nextlevelguitar.com. There's lots of great lessons on there, and you can really step up your playing. And thanks to David for having me over to show off some of my amps, and we're going to have a lot more vintage guitars and amps and maybe some effect pedals coming soon. Be sure to check us out.